must pass that gender. Unfortunately, they didn't till now, but it's still pending in both houses of Assembly, which the House of Representatives Deputy Speaker supported that, but the Senate is silent on it. And what's your view about
Benjamin? You mean
Benjamin Kalu? Yes, Benjamin Kalu.
That man, I doff my hat for him. You know, he's serious, he has been pushing this bill. And as you can see, they tap dancing around it. They just keep moving it, and elections right around the corner. And that is the body language of what's going on out there. So they have not. But you know, we're talking about, when you talk about the reserved seats, you're talking about the Senate and the House of Reps, and the House of Assembly, and the State Assembly. Yes, the House of Assembly. But when we talk about the 35%, it was signed Nigeria. Nigeria was a part of it, but every other country, they've moved on. If you look at countries like Rwanda, there's 60-some%. Ghana, every country it is actually that time in the lives of Nigerian women everywhere in the world. When you talk about Nigerian women, you know Nigerian women will leave Nigeria and become top, and then all kinds of things, making changes all over the world. But right here in Nigeria, it is very disheartening that we cannot even sit on the table in leadership position, in appointed position, elective position. You know, Nigerian women, highly intelligent women that shape the world, and we're not. When you come back to your country, you just go sit.
Let me quickly chip in there, because the perception you have that Nigerian women are not sitting on the bed. They did. During Obasanjo, at least about 28% of women are in government. While Jonathan too, but under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have less than 8% in the parliamentary, and which many are calling for more percentage of women participation in government.
You know, it's actually shocking. I was going to get to that. How did we get here? How did we retrogress? You know, normally you progress. How did we step back? I was just interviewed somewhere, and I was talking about recently. You say the body language was a current administration. Out of 68 ambassadors that have just been, appointed, 59 were men. For goodness sake, in a period where everyone is clamoring, I was thinking, I said, this particular time, the president is going to do us proud and lead by example. At least if he does that, then the Senate will know that it's hammer time. But it is not. It was a big blow for me, for me as a human being. And then, what am I going to? I have daughters. What am I going to tell my daughters that, when you come from overseas,